Chances are, when you open your doors to the world, guests are not going to be filing in. You're going to have to earn their trust. Let me tell you how to do that. Welcome to another edition of Hospitality Property School. I am your instructor, Jerry McPherson. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. And make sure to hit the little bell so you'll be informed when I upload a new video. You won't want to miss anything I designed especially for you. If you look out your window, will you see brontosauruses or triceratops wandering around? No. Why? When the asteroid hit, they were not able to adapt. The last year and a half, COVID-19 has been a hospitality property mass extinction event, and if properties didn't or are not willing to adapt, they will not survive. Speak to any hospitality property owner or manager, and they will tell you the turmoil that they have been facing. When should we open? When will our guests start returning? How do I forecast occupancy for the next 6 months, 12 months, 5 years with so much uncertainty? Is my business safe? It's no secret that the hospitality industry has taken a massive hit in the chaos that was 2020. But if you look closely, you can see a light at the end of the tunnel. What are the signs? People are tired of being stuck in a lockdown. Vaccine distribution is ramping up, and the summer is just around the corner. Although it's half of 2019, airline, hotel, and restaurant spending has doubled in many corners of the planet compared to last year when the pandemic first ravaged the world. Currently, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is still advising against travel, but indicators already show travel is set to play a pivotal role in the widely predicted 2021 economic boom. Travel is set to make a gradual comeback, but it will be different. And if you haven't done so yet, it's time to start preparing. How do we know people are getting ready to travel? Many have been researching for travel inspiration for the past year as something to look forward to once vaccinated. A Booking.com survey from October that polled more than 20,000 people around the world found that 95% of respondents were spending free time looking for travel inspiration, with 38% looking at potential destinations at least once a week. 65% of respondents are excited about traveling in the future. The tide is turning. The hospitality property industry has been through its worst year in its history. However, better times are right around the corner. What you do now will determine how quickly your property will encounter recovery. Getting your team focused on existing business, new opportunities, and how to protect, capture, and grow that business will serve you well today and into the future. How can hospitality properties up their game to attract these eager travelers? It may come down to revised safety and security procedures, some careful marketing, and comparing your hospitality property to your market. You need to take action, or you will be left behind. Once you determine where your property sits in your market, you can use the following guidelines to help you better decide the next steps, and I will share them with you right after a word from our sponsors. Before the break, I said once you determine where your property sits in your market, you can use the following guidelines to help you better decide the next steps. Is your hospitality property on the move? If your property is open and is doing as well as or better than the market, chances are you're doing things right. You probably have a small sales team or are keeping up with what's going on around you. It's important that you don't lose this momentum. As we have seen throughout the past year, things can turn on a dime. If you are a member of the Hospitality Property School Group, you will have access to the actionable workshops where I go into more detail with the techniques you can use. Are you ready to recover? If your property is ready to move forward, you have some work to do. The work stays the same even if you're in this situation and your market is a different category. For members of the Hospitality Property School group, I go into more detail in the actionable workshop section with techniques you can use. What if you're still on hold? Hospitality properties in this category may not be completely in control of their destiny. The takeaways for these properties will vary depending on the causes of anxiety, especially if you are in one of the markets where COVID restrictions are still impacting performance. For members of the Hospitality Property School group, I go into more detail in the actionable workshop section with your best next steps. Is this making sense so far? Let me know by leaving a comment. Reviewing, revisiting, and adjusting. Getting the attention of those travelers looking to make up for the disappointments of 2020 will take a reassessment of accommodations and policies by hospitality property owners and managers. 3 major areas where properties can direct their efforts: safety and sanitation policies, feature offerings, overall room standards. Each of these categories can be a place for improvement and a source of guest attraction. As COVID vaccine rollout progresses, hospitality properties can review, revise, and adjust these hospitality components to draw in business. For members of the Hospitality Property School group, I go into more detail in the actionable workshop section for all 3 areas. Embracing technology to effectively capture demand. Catching the attention of these travelers requires a more personal and tailored approach. Mass marketing and generic upsells will no longer hit the mark. It's all about repositioning your services and fine-tuning your offering to meet the dominating needs of modern guests. From there, you can up-level your offering to do something more attuned to their needs, reaching them with targeted email marketing, active social media promotion, and curated upselling via your internet booking engine. Redefine your marketing strategy. Over the last year, guests have grown even more accustomed to fast technology, online communication, and rapid responses, particularly during long stints of lockdown, which means you'll have to keep your finger on the pulse of delivery at the pace they now expect. Make a lasting impression across your social channels. Social media will be more significant than ever and is a key marketing channel for building trust and nurturing relationships with guests, both past and prospective. Make positive impressions by engaging with guests and answering queries. In conclusion, with pre-pandemic strategies now outdated and guest needs continuing to fluctuate with changing travel conditions, creating and maintaining strong connections has never been more crucial. A whole new era of travelers have emerged from the back of COVID, booking last-minute and domestic-fueled getaways in quieter, crowd-free areas. Staycation booms have been particularly noticeable in areas close to nature and beaches, with those that can travel feeling safer exploring locally than venturing overseas. Those who are no longer restrained by physical offices are using their remote freedom to take a workvacation, seeking longer stays at properties that boast good views, stable internet, and homely amenities. Others are craving local experiences, free from tourists and off the beaten path. Determine your target market and design your property to fulfill their needs, and you will be headed to recovery much sooner than later. Is your property ready for when guests start to return? Let me know in the comments. You will have access to this episode for the next 6 weeks, then it's locked in the vault for Hospitality Property School Group members only. To see all the valuable information you would have access to as a member of the Hospitality Property School Group, check out the short video in the episode post show notes. In the next episode, I will talk about strategies to help hospitality properties acquire and retain customers. That's it for today's episode. Until next time, have a fun day. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you sign up for the Insider Tips. You can find a link in the show notes.